Trump announces an appeal on the crooked E. Jean Carroll case and a new legal team. We're going to get into all of that. But first, here's Trump. A news reporter asked him if he's going to be using donors' money to pay for his fines. Welcome to Doug in Exile.
Are you planning, thank you, do you plan to try to use campaign funds or PAC money to try to pay some of the penalties in the New York defamation and fraud cases?
I don't understand.
Are you thinking of potentially trying to use campaign money to pay some of those penalties that you might incur in the New York fraud case and the defamation case?
I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, that's been proven as far as I'm concerned. And actually, we won in the Court of Appeals. You probably saw that. That case has been largely won in the Court of Appeals. That was a political case coordinated with the White House by the Attorney General, I assume is what you're talking about. And we won that case largely in the Court of Appeals.
So Trump is talking about how most of that case was dismissed because of statute of limitations, but there'll still be fines stacked up on that one. And so he's being a little obtuse here on purpose. Good. And then the reporter comes back in and specifically pins him down on the E. Jean Carroll case.
And then the Carroll, also the defamation case, the additional penalty this week.
That's a ridiculous case. That case is a ridiculous case. We're appealing it. She didn't know anything about me. She didn't know when it happened. There was nothing. People are looking at that case. It's a disgrace. We're appealing that case. We had a very hostile judge. We're appealing that case. It's a ridiculous case.
That judge is so hostile. That's Judge Lewis Kaplan is so hostile that it's likely to get thrown out with new information that they're going to go to an appeals court. Just the fine alone shows it's wrong. We'll have some clarification on that case too. But first, here's Glenn Beck on Megyn Kelly.
This case was so unbelievably weak in the first place. She has her credibility is nowhere to be found.
Not only is E. Jean Carroll's credibility not to be found,
the biggest manhandling trick of all is to know that there is no trick. All you have to remember is that you're a woman, and if you're a woman, you're precious.
We have another clip of them that kind of breaks that out. On the many accusations she's made about other men, none of them worked out. Here's Viva Frey. Judge Kaplan should be impeached and disbarred. Everyone must understand what Kaplan did to Trump. Kaplan, in a footnote, concludes, as a matter of fact, that Trump ard E. Jean Carroll. Okay. Now, he can't say that, but the judge did say that, and that was not what was found in the court case. They've had some kind of an assault or whatever, but he was found not guilty of the R word. And remember, that was just how he started his whole case against Trump for E. Jean Carroll. So he's cooked it in the books that he's corrupt, despite the jury literally coming to the opposite finding. That's in the first case against E. Jean Carroll. Then he granted summary judgment such that Trump had only a, quote, trial on damages for denying the R. So remember, this whole case that E. Jean Carroll just won for $83 million was not for the R word. It was only for defamation, and $83 million worth of defamation. This shows that that Trump did not get a fair trial, and he did not get a fair verdict. Here's Glenn Beck.
She is accused a babysitter's boyfriend, a dentist, a camp counselor, an unnamed college date, an unnamed boss, and CBS chief Les Moonves of either sexually assaulting or
the R word. He continues. No, E. Jean Carroll, unless you're just the unluckiest woman in the world, I doubt that long string of your accusations is true.
Don't be alone in a room with E. Jean Carroll if you were a man.
Yeah. Guess what's going to happen? I would never be alone with this whack job because we already know what she would accuse you of. Here's Megyn Kelly. She thinks E. Jean Carroll may have just handed the election to Trump. This is the bottom line of this whole thing. This whole thing is a giant marketing scam about Trump's election. Remember, this is donor Democrat money going behind this case. And the same thing with the Alvin Bragg case. These are being funded by rich Democrats. And all I can say is if Trump wins the presidency, then they'll all be discredited. They will have lost, even if it costs Trump, the hundreds of millions of dollars. Remember that George Bush and especially Barack Obama and Biden have all made hundreds of millions of dollars post their presidency, speaking fees and all of that. So Trump will always be rich. This is not going to cost him anything. And money is fungible. It comes, it goes. And he might end up pulling it from his donations. And you can just do a giant fundraiser and get it all paid for. Now, on Trump's appeal. Trump says he's interviewing new lawyers for the E. Jean Carroll case appeal, and he attacks the judge. Trump said Tuesday he's in the process of interviewing several law firms to represent him in his appeal. Any lawyer who takes a Trump case is either crazy or a true American patriot, Trump wrote on Truth Social. I will make my decision soon. So he has multiple offers to check from. And then meanwhile, the internet's like blowing up going, oh, he's not getting Alina Habba. He's not getting Alina Habba because she's so terrible. No, it's actually very common to not use that kind of a trial order and go to a firm that specializes in appeals. So this is normal. The former president was represented in the initial trial by attorney Alina Habba, New Jersey-based lawyer who also represented Trump and his company during the New York civil fraud trial that ended earlier this month. It's not uncommon to seek different representation when handling an appeal. And the Post doesn't make clear that Habba was removed from the case or Trump's broader legal team. Trump also berated the judge on his Tuesday night Truth Social post, calling him a, quote, a Clinton-appointed, highly partisan, Trump-hating judge. Now, that's not a lie. That's all true. Quote, one of the most partisan and out-of-control activists that I have ever appeared before, unquote. That's all true. I think that's undeniable. It's clear. This judge officiated the wedding of one of the prosecuting attorneys. So, this whole thing stinks and the jury stinks. And this is not justice. You're supposed to be tried by a jury of your peers. That would mean Trump should get at least half Republicans as peers, right? That's the whole point, is for there to be fairness. So Trump didn't get fairness here. He got all of his enemies on a jury, and that is not an honest jury. I'm Doug in Exile.